you are just basically you are dealing with the chemical stuff that's just like exhaust gases in petroleum side, something like that.
Yeah.
Noxes.
Throughout the decades, there were many instances where at a refinery or a gas station or any other number of sites, there were, either refined fuels or crude oil left in the subsurface. And we have to go back years later and clean it up. So with bioremediation, because a lot of that material is aerobically biodegradable. So a lot of the job was to get it air or to vaporize it and pull it out.
So I think majority of them are just like inorganic substance that's usually go into the environment. That's a little bit just like non-biodegradable stuff that you mentioned before, and which may be useful. You can say that these are just like noxes and toxes gases. Noxes, what we call that: nitrogen dioxide, monoxide, carbon monodioxide, sulfur, and other kind of gases. These are the three major constituent, and that's convert into a secondary pollutants, which is just come over on Earth by adding water, just like acid rain, such kind of thing. Is it right?
Are you thinking of when I mentioned nitrate?
Yeah, nitrate. Nitrate, sulfur.
That was an interesting one, and that was very, very early in my career. And Max was quite good, but it's one of those things that, at least back then, we didn't really try to react it with anything. They really just tried to manage it because it was so conservative. It would stay in the groundwater in solution. And we just wanted to try to make sure it would remain or get to levels that wouldn't hurt anybody or anything. So it was actually quite basic.
Yeah.
Times when, Max would design a groundwater treatment system, he would pull the groundwater up and run it through, just get it out of the ground so it wouldn't impact the drinking water supply. And then in situations, literally, we didn't need to treat it. We would discharge it to a river where it was diluted incredibly and would never hurt anybody or anything. And it was allowed. It was an allowable approach, and people could kind of afford it. And that's what they did. But most of my was on hydrocarbons. So
you are dealing with organic chemistry, just like a hydrocarbons, carboxylic acid, aldehyde, ketone, ester, and blah blah, such kind of just like organic substance. You're dealing with that. So basically, you are just separating just like organic material with water or something else. What is currently you are looking for? What is basically your job? I'm curious to know about the things that you are doing right now.
Well, yeah. So now most of what I do is in the compliance realm, because one of the areas that, since about 1990 in the U.S. Has been air pollution and preventing and reducing air pollution from industry. So this was another thing that I did, really from the very start of my career. But now in oil and gas, for oil and gas to continue to be in business and operate, we have to, essentially meet the social contract, which means don't put things in the atmosphere that are going to hurt people. And so there are so many rules that we need to meet. And they do things like, if we have a storage tank and they've taken oil out of the ground and put it in a small storage tank on the ground, we would make sure that tank doesn't off gas to the atmosphere. So those vapors collected right now in small quantities, they tend to be burned, just incinerated on site in a small combustor. At larger sites, if you have it and it's economic, you can capture it, compress it back into sales. So,
just like methane gases, these are just like natural gases which you can compress. So sometimes like liquid petroleum gases and CNG and LPG, such kind of things. That's usually which is just like an extra product when you are digging or drilling in the grounds. So that's really pretty cool. But I think so it's a really hard job. It's not an easy one, because I know those people who are just related to that stuff, they have a lot of opportunity because the businessmen are giving them a lot of money so that they don't raise objection while they are working. So such kind of thing. And the second thing that because of sometime the volatile and non-volatile material are too much around those areas. So it is, but maybe I think so you have to work only for 15 days and rest of the 15 days for free, or maybe 1 week free for that, for make people relax, because volatile material is just like you are inhaling a lot of material when you are working on a plant or such kind of area where the drilling is going on and storage tanks are and refinery process. So you may grant it a 1 week or 15 days holidays so that you can relax your breathing system. Is it right?
I couldn't tell you very much about the schedules that they work, but I do know that, you're familiar with OSHA and the OSHA rules here?
Yeah. OSHA and NIBOSH and OSHA.
Okay. So
safety. These are the safety certificate.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. And they very tightly regulate how much you can be exposed to, even in a single shift.
That from over here in Pakistan.
Could you repeat that? I understood your question.
I said that these two courses, NIBOSH and OSHA, taking a lot of worth around, because you are dealing with those chemicals and you know the importance of these two certificates. So I'm asking if I have opportunity, because I have opportunity, I can easily enroll myself in those courses and I can easily pass because these are international courses. So is it any worth around the world? Because people said that, oh, these are the old stuff. Maybe 5 or 10 years before, many people think about, many organizations want to hire people who has such kind of, but there are so many people around the world. So you should not do that. It's just like a waste of money because, it's really expensive. These courses are just like expensive courses. So some people told me, so what should I do? Can you recommend me?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
It's not one that I can answer completely, but I would say this. Being in environmental and now being in industry, haven't had a chance to go through, 40-hour OSHA training back in the late 90s, refresher trainings for many years. We do a 10-hour OSHA refresher every year here in the oil and gas industry. What it's meant for me is greater knowledge and awareness of safety. And it makes me think about how I do things around the house. It makes me think about how people are doing things at a work site that I pass. It just raises awareness. So, I think you have to decide what value that is for you. And the credential from taking a course may not have any value. But if learning the material has value, go for it.
Yeah. So it's mean overall so if I'm not wrong, so you said that I have to get those courses. It's really taking worth, if I'm not wrong. The more or less the answer that you said, because you didn't say clearly, but indirectly you said that. Is it right? I just want to listen your clear message.
How much are they?
Sorry?
How much are the courses? You said they're very...
It's just like, I'm not sure. It's because yeah.
It's all good.
So,
I love meeting engineers who have a personality.
Oh.
It's funny. Max kind of alluded to the same thing. And then, of course, Max had many jokes about, engineers in general.
Oh my God. Yeah, Jed, you nail it. By the way, I'm involving Brian in our conversation. Brian, when we were talking about chemical things, so what do you think about that? These two guys are just like alien. They're talking in a different way, thinking in a different stuff. What do you think about us? Just like, if let's suppose you are not an engineer, especially chemical engineer. Yeah. So when you met, what do you think about? What is your assumption if you don't met any chemical engineer before? What do you think about chemical one?
I don't know exactly, but in this exchange, it's interesting, because I just see, like, even with regard to the question of OSHA and those kinds of things, and should you take the course, and I just go, I think I think Jed, like Jed, you have to operate under those rules, right? Here, is that correct?
That's right.
And Tayyab, in your country, I mean, if you're operating your country, you do not have to operate under those rules, right? I mean,
only
they're
only few only few multinational company only specify, but majority of them, I mean, you can say that 80% of the companies are not following rules, but 20% company make sure that they have to follow the rules,
yeah,
environmental rules, because they are multinational, they are big organization, they must follow. If they don't follow, they can't sell the product around the world. And those
internationally.
exports company, those company who are dealing with exports, just like a football, these are the Pakistani sport. FIFA football is just like the last year Pakistani provide the all the FIFA football. So such kind of big companies who are dealing with export, so those company always make sure to follow the OSHA, NIBOSH, and other kind of,
Make those adjustments in my own personal life, right? But yeah, but generally, all the chemical engineers I know have a wonderful personality and are very dear to my heart. So all three chemical engineers that I know are amazing people. So if I were to base my opinion on chemical engineers based on the three that I know, I'm going, wow, chemical engineers are amazing people that need to be known.
I think so. You are talking about Jed, not for me.
Uh,
Okay. So Jed, what's the most interesting time during your profession that you remember up till now? Can you share any interesting moments? Maybe someone hire you, someone fire you, or maybe you fire someone, or when you are working, or maybe you complain someone. So maybe just like an interesting thing on your job and working time and during profession. Anything comes in your mind right now, so you can share with us?
You know, I think I'd have to say, so back in, say, 2013, there was, an oil boom here in America, and production was soaring. Methods had advanced. The industry was booming. The world needed the oil, right? All we do is make a commodity that the world needs and wants and uses. But in that context, I was in a company that, spent billions of dollars a year on new wells. Just an amazing level of activity. And I'd have to say, to be the environmental department representative on multi-department teams that were doing this work, it was pretty neat to sit in the room with, the executive VP from the company and the operations managers and the engineers and the marketing representatives, and to have all these people together working on how in the world they're going to develop this field. They're building a gas plant. They had 5,000 to 10,000 wells in mind for the coming decade. The level of infrastructure and activity was just kind of off the charts. And it was, I think the most interesting thing was to be a part of that team and to be with those people. So,
okay. Because they have a lot of money and they invested a lot of money, that's why you are thinking that this is just like interesting for being a part of that company, or maybe something else?
I personally, I think it just feels good to be a part of something that's moving.
Oh, boy.
Activity, there's direction, there's energy. The stakes in that case were high. People had to do a good job, so they had to bring their best. And it was fun to see people bring their best, and not everything went perfectly, and they had to deal with that too. And so it was pretty.
Wow, that's good. Just like, I think so. When you have a good company and as well as good direction, your energy is always on the top of your head, and you want to do something, and you have to, even though sometimes some humans know better than us, and we are better than someone else. So it's just like a chain. But if you found someone who had a good quality, then you just take some inspiration and you want to do and add some value in ourselves. That's just like a life, and you feel some spark. So it is good when you are just engaging with a big organization. So your morale, your values, your enthusiasm, your hard working, your way of style of work, all those things are just like incredible, and you feel that you have to be improve yourself. In that time, you groom, even though you work, but you groom and you polish. So it means when you groom, you polish, ultimately you got better opportunity. That is called life. When you are, and I feel personally, when I don't learn anything on each day, I feel bored, believe me. So I told you why I'm just so happy today, because I got a good client. Even though my owner my owner met that guy and he did a meeting 2 or 3 years before, but that person is just like a big snake. Do you know snake in the business? What is mean? Snake, it's mean that they want to be grabs your money, and after that they say, oh, we are just like suffering financial issue, we can't able to pay, we will pay. So maybe 2 or 3 years later they just delay payment. So in that case, so my boss, just like CEO, told me, Tayyab, you are dealing with this guy. Guy will never give you money. I said I will try to do my best. But what happened? Today I deliver a bags of chemical, and I receive a pay today. Mean to say I receive a cash money on the same day within 2 hours. So my boss is just like gazing at me. Tayyab, what you did? What you said to him? I said I did nothing. I just call him again and again and talk to him. I can give you a chemical, but I need a money right now. So in this way, maybe I'm lucky because I don't know what is the reason, but I just got it. So everyone is just like, oh, you are incredible. You did very well. I said, oh my God. So something like happened. So I'm telling to you, it's just like sometime we are moving, sometime we are stagnant. So, but when we have a good company, when we have outstanding mindset, like mindset, so we feel something different, and we add values in our work, and that is really important. And I think so. If when we are adding a value, so we are just like moving upward, and I think so. This is the lesson of life. You always move. Life is, I feel that life is just like you have to be change and move upward. If you stop, you will die. If you just move like other humans moving, so you always learning. Sometime you learn, sometime you don't learn, but maybe you prepare for next time. But it is just like a cycle of life. But every time we have to do something. So yeah, that's like my philosophy. Should I call it philosophy, or just like something? Oh my God.
Sounds like fair enough. So I'm interested in how you like leading your team. It sounds like you have a team of people that you lead, and I have a friend who leads. He's a director at a large company, and he leads, I think, 500 people. But what I've been impressed with him about is just the leadership qualities he has, and how positive he is with people, and how much I'm sure they like working for him, even though I've never been to his office. But what's it like for you to lead your team? And what have you found?
So what was the next question? What I found?
What have you found that works well in leading your team?
Okay. Leading a team, I learned one lesson. Whenever someone came to my desk, I never realize him disappointment. Even though he has an issue, he has a problem, which I can't able to help him. Let's say some financial issue, he want to share, and just like asking money and just like perks and other kind of thing. I know I can't do, because this is not my job. I have to take some work from this guy rather than just giving him money. So I just try to be just like be humble, and try to be motivate him, and try to be encouraging. This is the first lesson that I love most of the leader has. Second thing, leader must lead from the front. What does mean that? Whenever the difficult situation occur, I saw leader don't come on the page. They just try to be hide, because they know at this point they have to be answered. They are answerable. The leader try to be fine, some hidden place where they can hide themselves because nobody can answer. But what I do, whenever something wrongs happen, I try to be leading from the front and I try to tackle. Because, if something wrong, if I don't face those problems, how I can improve myself? Problems occur, but leader always face problem. And when the problem occur, it means there is a solution for that problem. Always there is a solution. Problem has a solution. But if I just try to be hide than other people, then it means I'm losing the opportunity to learn something new, which is not the quality of the leader. So this is the lesson that I learned, which I'm telling to you. Sometimes it's wrong happen. So what I do, I try to be revise myself, what I did, if I did a mistake, or this is my mistake, or this is my team mistake. Okay, team mistake, how I can cover that mistake. What are the compensation that I can do for my team? And such kind of things according to the scenario and condition. But I never realized my team as a disappointment. My team is just like my arms and my hands and legs. If I don't consider them like arms and legs, so how I can perform? I have to realize them that you are my arm, you are my sportive, and I will support you from my chest. I'm your chest, so you are my arm. So we are unite together. If someone just like dismantle us, we can't able to be work appropriately. Only the hand is just like, if you feel that this is a hand, it's not work if they don't have a support. So such kind of thing, I just realize them that you are my need and I'm your need. So we are like a team. No, because I usually guide them how to perform in certain conditions. They always respect me and I always respect them. So this is just like a good bonding. It's professional bonding. I call them a professional bonding. It's different than a social bonding. So, but it's really amazing. Every day when I learn something, I share with them. They learn something, they share with them. That's the way we grow together. And that make us more interesting. But sometime, when you are building a team, you majority of time you fall because you are thinking positive, but your team members are not thinking like that you. So sometimes it's really creepy to build a team, especially when you are building a new team, because every person have a different mindset. You want to be unite them, but people say, or maybe team members say, no, I'm superior than this one. I'm just like, I'm superior, I'm senior, I'm this. But again, if we are just dealing these kind of stuff, we never make a good team. We are always just like, our self-respect, our emotion, our attitude. So that kind of things cause a problem. And one people told me it's a good, I think so. I never die, but the company politics make me die every day. So
yeah.
yes,
Hey, Tayyab,
yeah.
that's you really delivered some amazing aspects of what it is to be a leader. I
Oh my
think
God.
I think what you've articulated is really, really phenomenal, and it's like bang on. With all the leadership material that I've worked through and have read, I mean, it's like bang on. To be a good, humble listener, to really tackle problems, right, rather than run away from them. And I've seen many leaders who actually, their default is to run away or to handle something passive aggressively or whatever. And that's really remarkable. And to see the team as one, like a body, that and wow, that's a powerful image. So
Thank
hey,
you so much.
Jed, I know that we are about up to the half hour. I bet you have to go.
I do.
So thank you so much for joining in the conversation. This was sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great to meet you, Tayyab.
Thank you so much, Jed. It's very nice talking to you. I'm feeling happy. You're so generous and as well as elegant. And thank you so much. You look gorgeous and as well handsome. What should I say? Good or handsome, not gorgeous. Gorgeous for female. Sorry.
Well, it's nice talking to you, and I'll look forward to talking another time.
Thank you so much, Jed. Take care. We will catch up later on.